Okay. I'm live. Nico live, babe. Yeah, I'm starting to go live. So, hi guys, welcome back to YouTube, to this YouTube channel. And into this YouTube channel, we are going to see how you can be able to create Amazon S3 bucket and how you can make the file to be accessible to anyone on the internet using URL. So that is the thing we are going to do. And as I said earlier, you 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 are supposed to use, you are not supposed to use the root directory. You are supposed to create a user, then you give that user access when they need to access a service. So for this part, I have this user, and we are going to give them S3 access. We are going to give them the permission to be able to create a bucket on S3 and anything on S3. So to do that, we are supposed to go to I am panel and give this user those permissions, and the permission to give are any permission to list, maybe to list my bucket, but we are going to give them everything about buckets. So let's head over to that window, and this is my I am admin. So this is my admin panel. So we go into this panel, we search for I am, and then we'll look for that user. I call him Lali. Then we give him the permission to use S3. So you search on I am, you search for I am, then users, then you click on the name of the user you want you want to give permission. They can be able to access this using maybe console or the management console. They can maybe use CLI, but for this part we are just going to use the management console. So we give him permission. This is how we do it. You go to add permission, and then I think when we are supposed to give him under group. So let's go to the group part and give him working from home challenges. So let's go to this part. So under group, let me search for Lali. Let me add Lali to the group, because adding to group is much easier for anybody to use any permission. So we are on the user groups, then we add permission. We remove this permission, we don't need it for now. We add permission, attach policies, and the permission we want to give him is for EC2 and for S3. So we come here and search first for S3. We give this group all the permission regarding S3. Then we search for EC2 full access. So we give them the EC2 full access and attach policies, and then we will see the policies listed down here. Okay, so let's wait for that part. So using group is much easier. Instead of going and giving each user permission, Maybe when you should give a user you should use user if you're giving them the permission maybe to use something like CLI, command line interface. I think that is when you can use the user part. Okay, so let's go to our group on EC2 and we see how the permission that this group has. So they are still loading, and then I will give them some time. And also you can give them, you can even create lols. Maybe you want EC2 to interact with S3. This is where you search for such a lol and create that lol. Then when you are creating maybe an EC2, you give it a lol. Yep. So EC2. I don't know why it's taking so long. And so you can give permission even using the crowd trail. So we will be going around learning about everything about AWS in the next coming weeks. So let's see whether they okay. So the roles are now applied. He have all the access to all my S3 in this account. So, he has all the bucket. So let me teach you. So S3 is an object file storage. You can store any amount of, you can store unlimited amount of objects in S3. And I love it because if you don't use something frequently, you can use something like what we call, let me open here. In terms of pricing, I feel it's good because you store data according to classes. Maybe we have different classes. Let's use pricing calculator. So I feel S3 is good because of the classes. If you frequently use file, you can use something like we call lifecycle policy. It is able to move the file maybe from a standard, let me show you the classes. So if a file you are not using it for most parts, for the you are not using the file for many days, it is stored in the standard storage class, and we have the 3. I think therefore let me show you. Select it like this, then edit storage class. So let me show you the storage classes that we use. We have standard. This one is where it's like the standard class. You can access your file anytime you want it, and you can access it with a millisecond access. We have intelligent tiering. So this is the one I'm telling you about. If you are not sure whether you access your file either in standard, in most infrequent times, or you don't access it infrequently, this intelligent tiering is able to move you from standard, infrequent access, and standard class. So that is how we use it, and we use something called life cycle policy to be able to move the files to these 2 classes. So maybe if you go viral it can store your file in standard access, and when the virality goes down, it move it to infrequent access. Then in frequent access we have two types. This one, it is stored in various availability zone, maybe 3. Then this one zone, it is stored only in one availability zone. Then we have Gracia instant retrieval. This one, you can store it in a Gracia, so every time you see Gracia, you think about in terms of freezing. So this one is used for maybe archiving data, and the best part about it, you can be able to instant retrieve your data. You can retrieve your data in a millisecond. But in terms of backup, we have instant retrieval, we have flexible retrieval, and we have deep archival. This one is, I don't know more about it, okay, but the most famous one are these classes. The deep archival, you store it, you don't use it for anything, so even to access it, you access it within 12 and beyond hours. So when you store something here, you must be sure it's for archives only. And this one, it because retrieving from this part, it will take hours, but for flexible retrieval, it gives you a retrieval of, I think, maximum 5 hours to access. But this one, you will get it instantly when you store when you store an object here. Okay, cancel. So in this demonstration, I want maybe to teach you how to create buckets, how to upload things into a bucket, and all those shenanigans. Then when we store something, we will provide a unique URL which you can share with your friend, and they can get that item by just using a URL. So we are done with IAM users. We can see we have S3 and EC2 full access. So I think we can close this window. So for this part, I'll just show you on to create bucket on the using the management console. You can even use the CLI to do this part, but for my part, I'm very proficient using the management console, but I'll push myself to use the CLI and use the command. So many developers access the CLI commands, and they use them to interact with the AWS resources using maybe a program like Python. Anything we can do on a management console, you can do it programmatically, and you can do it by using the command line interface. So where we are at the part of creating buckets, so let's rush on to that part, and let's get started. So the first thing first, when you open Amazon S3, this is the kind of the interface you will get. And a few things I should mention, where the maximum object file size you can store in S3 is 5 terabytes, and you can store unlimited amount of data in S3. And S3 is not a file system, everything is stored as an object, but we use bucket to simplify because in our mind, we as human, we think of it into file system. That is why they created bucket, to enable us to think in terms of file system. But honestly, the file system in S3 does not exist. So now we want to create a bucket. So you press on the button, the any button. Maybe you can press this, or you can press this button to create a bucket. You choose, for now you choose general purpose. And also something to note here, the name on your bucket should be unique. It should not exist in anywhere, in all files in S3. The name must be unique globally, in the whole world. Your bucket names should be unique. So I think about it, because I think all the objects are stored in one large bucket. That is why I think about it. That is why they told us we must specify the file name. So I give it my name, and so this is the part where we so we want to create a bucket, but because I'll use this name later, let me just change this to this name, because I will use that my name to get later. So when we are creating, so we will choose access control is enabled. I feel I have a knowledge gap to understand what what these are. Then we will uncheck the public access, because we want to share we want to share these files. So okay, I think we want to share this file with the internet, so we will uncheck that part. This blocks this part blocks anything you store in this bucket. It will give access denied if it's turned on. So I think we should left it, test it, and then run. For the server side, you can encrypt your data using the S3, or you can use AWS key management software to do that. But for this part, let us just leave it as default. And anything else, nothing at the moment. And then we create the bucket. Could send me out. So let's sign in and create the bucket. So when you create the bucket, also there is a policy, there is a file you should use to make it public also. I have attached it into the description of this video. You can check that out. So also you can use something like ChatGPT to guide you. Honestly, I was using it for guidance, but you must also understand what are you doing. I can't find it. Okay, so we are here. We were here at this point. So we create our bucket. Remember, the name must be unique worldwide, globally. Nobody should have used that name. Then we create the bucket. We have explained every part here. let's create the bucket, get the error, we solve it. That is the best way to learn. So let's create a bucket, and honestly I love S3. So the file is successfully created and we can upload our files, and we come here, refresh, and this is my bucket. So you can come here and upload any file that you have in mind. When you upload, you have this UI. For sure it does not look good, but honestly many programmers don't use the management console. They use the crowd shell or the CLI to interact. So also something, so let's add a file. Do we have, so I'm just uploading a random file. Upload, and we can see now is maybe staged. Then we click upload, and you can see this is the destination. And something, the S3 uses this notation S3 then dot dot. It is very important if you are using command line interface. Then click upload, and now our file is uploaded, and we can see it on this URL, on this part. So now our file is stored as an object, and this is the URL. But if we come to our browser and test it, we can't be able to access it. We are being told access denied. So how can we solve this part? So we think how can we solve? So to solve it, you have to make your bucket to be so to solve it, you go to your bucket, then you go to permission. This is where you choose the permission. So earlier I was telling you about the block public access setting, and you click it, you uncheck that part, and then save changes, and you confirm on this button, like type confirm, and then click confirm. And okay, but this block access is not recommended. Only do it for something you want to put it public. Then if we try it again, can we access it? Still we can't access it. We can't access it because we must come to our bucket policy and write a policy to enable us to access this file using the URL. So I have shared a policy on the description which you will use. So let me get it from my notepad. So this policy is just a simple JSON file, and it has a version, it has a statement, and it has the part where it allows. So we say we allow any S3 object to be shared online, and here is where you will replace your bucket name. So let me do that, and my bucket name is Felix test. Felix test bucket. Then Felix text. Then you maybe if you are security conscious, you can play around with this policy and make it more secure. But for this part, we are just learning. When we learn about security, we will come back. Okay, I think we are not authorized to do this part. It's not access. So I think we will go back to our admin and change and give us the permission to perform this coding. So let me create a new private window, logging to that console, and give us that permission. So this is the best recommended way on dealing with the security issues. You create a user, you give them permission, and when they need permission, you give them permission as they need permission. Like you give them the least amount of permission to access your AWS resources, because they are costly. They can do the wonders in your account, and at the end month you get a huge bill. So as this is loading, I feel I should also show you something to do with the pricing. Let us see the S3 pricing. So you search AWS pricing calculator, you search for service, then you search on this button, then search the service you want. So this is S3. So you are charged to transfer data out of AWS. So if you're transferring data from inside AWS, nothing will be charged. So let's see. If you are transferring data in 600 terabytes per month, nothing will be charged. But if you are transferring data out, you are transferring data out of the internet, you'll be charged. So let's see, for 1 terabyte, well, they charge this amount of money. So for 1 GB, I feel it's good. Mostly I use like 10. I feel it's a good amount to transfer data out of S3. So if you are using S3 standard, you also charge to put, maybe to the way I'm telling you, to access a file using URL, you are also charged. You can see it here. And to put to any operation, like to download, to upload, you are charged according to the amount of requests. So that is how this part is represented. we say 10. GB. So I feel S3 is affordable somehow. So you can play around with this and see you see how does it look on your side. So let's check on IAM analyzer. We sign in as the root user because we are going to give permissions. So it's a good thing to enable multi-factor authentication on your account. So let me get the code and we continue. Na chukua ni yake code. You join. So this is my code week 476 874, then hit submit. I don't know how I'm going to solve that problem, but I know how to handle it. So this is the policy we are supposed to give to this IAM user. We go to that window, console, we search for IAM user, we add I have already copied into my clipboard and see whether it will work. I'm definitely sure it will work. We go to the user groups, EC2, then we add permission to, we go to permission, add permission, attach policies, then we search for the policy that I was looking for, access analyzer. Does that even exist? Let's see. We are told you need permission. User already is not authorized to perform access analyzer. Validate policy on access analyzer, that one. So let's see if that thing exists. Dolphin like ChatGPT based thing. I think I don't know how to use access analyzer. I will learn about it and bring you back to date. So the first thing I think we should do, we let us just use the root user to do whatever we got stuck in. So you use S3 and all my everything that I have uploaded, I can be able to see it, even whatever Larry has uploaded. So let's open it. I will learn about access analyzer, then come bring you up to date on it. So my internet is kind of slow. Internet iko slow, acha nimalize dakika kidogo. Untafuti. So we search for S3 bucket. We look for that S3. Okay. Internet so slow. So this is my file, as I told you. He can access. Then we were stuck on changing the bucket permission. We go to permission, we edit the bucket policy, you press edit, then we paste the permission I had. It is stored in my notes, so I open my notes. It's already on the description, you can use it from that part. Then we paste it here, and one else. Okay, so I put my bucket name. I was so fast to finish. I made this cell. You put your bucket name, Felix test buckets. Then I feel that is okay. Save the changes. Where? ChatGPT. So we also support, oh shit. We are supposed to give this part only the name. So we go to our part and input it here. Let's save the changes. Still we have an error. Let's change the bucket name here. We put the bucket name we have. This is the bucket name. Then we save the changes. So I think we should change it to the owner. Let me get the owner. Let's see whether it will work. Save the changes. Still we have an error. Let's use ChatGPT to diagnose this error and see. We go to Windows, then where we had our ChatGPT, we had our bucket inline policy. Paste it and see. Line 6 we have an error. We can change it to all. Yeah, so lighting policy is a bit hard, but now our bucket policy have no error. So we press save and we have successfully edited our bucket policy. So if we now go to our file where we had the URL, so you can check it here. This is our file. we can now access it through the internet by just using this URL, and finger crossed everything should work fine now. Yep, so that is how you can be able to store something on S3, and then you can be able to access it using URL. It's a bit hard to understand all these steps, so maybe because I had some difficulty, maybe I take you through every like a sermon. So the first thing first that we did, we searched for S3 after logging in into your your account. So when you create you then search for S3 on the search bar, and you will open to this URL. Then you can create a bucket from this button, and also you can use this button also to create a bucket. So we created a bucket, and the bucket name should be unique globally. Anybody in the world should not use your bucket name. Then we uploaded a file using this button, and we added a file this way. It was an easy step, and then when you upload it, it is staged on this part, and then you press upload button on this button, and it is uploaded to your S3, and you will see it uploaded here. Then we talked about the storage classes. I talked to you about whether they are economical and how they are uses, and after creating creating the bucket and uploading the file, the object, we got the values of the object, and we were able to in order to use this object URL to access this object stored here. We went to our bucket, we went to permission, then we edited the bucket public access, we pressed edit, we turned off block public access, and we pressed save. Then we went also to the permission, and we edited the bucket. We edited the bucket inline policy. So that is how you can be able to access your product stored in S3, and you can play around with this you can play around with the bucket policy to make this part more secured. So that is how you do it, and I believe now we understand what is S3 and what are its use. And the good thing also, you can even be able to use something like what you can use email notification. So whenever you upload an object here, you are notified, or whenever somebody access an object, you can use event notification. You create an event whenever somebody upload maybe to your bucket, you get notified. So you use Lambda and use SNS. So those are huge topics. We will cover each and every part slowly. So that was a good one. It was an intense lab, but we have already achieved the goal. So till next time, bye bye.